The show is about to begin.
What's happening in your neck of the woods? It's the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and some politicians are about to be roasted.
Journalists gather to toast free speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
We have awards, scholarships, and laughs coming your way.
It's Saturday night, and Colin Jost is not in New York.
Get ready to laugh, everyone. The show is about to start.
This star-studded celebration of the First Amendment.
Picture a room full of the most prestigious names in Washington.
All in our places, bright, shiny faces. People, find your seats.
You're in the Situation Ballroom.
We're starting on time tonight.
Please shut up.
Don't make me get the 60-minute stopwatch.
We're going to bring it down now.
So find your seats and enjoy the show.
What is going on? This dinner is about to get started.
You are not being paid by the word.
You've been told to take your seats.
And you failed miserably.
Just be quiet.
Quiet. Shh.
Can we keep it down, everyone?
Be quiet.
Silence, everybody.
Is there a volume button somewhere in here?
Hey, shut the up!
Quiet.
Silence, everybody!
Zip it!
Zip it.
Do I have to come down there?
Hey, shut up!
The White House Correspondents' Dinner.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner.
White House Correspondents' Dinner!
Begins in
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4, 3,
2,
1.
Let's go.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's the White House Correspondents' Dinner with special appearances by Eugene Daniels, Lester Holt, Steve Kornacki, Scott McFarland, Taryn Travers, Kristen Welker, impressionist Matt Friend, the President of the United States, and tonight's headliner, Colin Jost. Now, here's your White House Correspondents Association President, Kelly O'Donnell.
Now we've got your attention. That was a lot of fun, and you see how lucky I am to have so many friends with big personalities who were willing to be a little silly and to help us kick things off tonight. Thank you to all of them who said yes when I called across all the networks. Thank you, friends, for turning up for that. Mr. President, Vice President Harris, Dr. Biden and Mr. Emhoff, we welcome you as we celebrate freedoms that are both enduring and repeatedly tested. Your presence here speaks clearly and loudly about the essential connection between a free press, freedom of speech, and the democracy we value. Tonight, we will honor excellence. We will look to the future with support for our student scholars. But we know that eyes are wide open here. We come together for this grand evening in tumultuous times with crises and conflicts all around us. There's no mistaking that. We also know that life has many dimensions, including time to celebrate and time to laugh. So many of you have reached out to me to say how excited you are to see Colin Jost as our entertainer. Let me be honest with you, when your dream choice to headline this event and this crowd says yes, that is a good day. That is a good day. Thank you, Colin, for being here. And I know Colin cares about history and thinks about history like so many of us in the White House Correspondents Association. And I don't mean dusty books in the library. I learned a lot about Washington from hearing laughter on Saturday nights when I was growing up in Ohio. And that showed me humor could take on serious subjects and leave us feeling a little lighter. So I asked Colin and our friends at Saturday Night Live to open up the time capsule, nearly 50 years of political humor, to take us on a fun and funny ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
No problem.
Don't want to be here, 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 and here, and here, and here. Not gonna do it. Not gonna.
I will do this. I will do this. I will do them both together.
One thing about being a leader is that a leader has to make some very tough decisions. That's why I'm going with the chimichangas.
We are almost out of time, so I will ask each candidate to sum up in a single word the best argument for his candidacy. Governor Bush?
Strategery.
Vice President Gore?
Lockbox.
Oh my God, what happened? You made Barack Obama angry. And when you make Barack Obama angry, he turns into The Rock Obama.
Hey everybody, it's me, your VP, Joe Biden. And I'm inviting you all to join me this Monday, the Biden Bash. Do you think you can jump higher than me? Well, now you can find out in a game I call, Do You Think You Can Jump Higher Than Me? And be sure to join me for my Kung Fu exhibition. Biden time! Ow!
Yeah, a Wall Street Journal. Are you okay?
And you know something, Mr. Cohen? I've never even heard of you.
Your mother has.
Hey! Hey!
I can't believe all this mess happened in Iowa because of an app. Hey, I have an idea for an app. It's called No Apps.
Senator Mitch McConnell's seen here being told a black woman made a country album. Has come out in favor of a bill that would potentially ban TikTok in the U.S. Of course, for McConnell, TikTok is just what the Grim Reaper says while tapping his watch.
You know, Jesus did some incredible things. Some would call them miracles. In terms of fish and with regard to bread.
This is my speech. There are others like it, but this is mine. I wrote it myself last night while screaming into an empty bag of Doritos.
And we're gonna go in there, we're gonna get our pole watches so close. We're gonna get this close. See, this is legally close.
Okay.
Nuts on back. That's where a pole watch ought to be.
When can we get back to the Capitol and resume the vote?
Hello, DoorDash. It's Chuck Schumer.
Senior Congressman George Santos, seen here in a promo for a pawn shop reality show, was indicted on federal charges including conspiracy, wire fraud, and identity theft. He was also indicted for reckless homicide when that button shot off his jacket and killed a bystander.
This entire country has been bullying me just because I am a proud gay thief. But what else is new? America hates to see a Latina queen winning.
You see, I'm not just a senator. I'm a wife, a mother, and the craziest bitch in the Target parking lot.
House Speaker Mike Johnson said that he is blurring the faces on the footage of January 6 rioters so that none of them would be charged with a crime. So unfortunately, we'll never know who they are.
It's a terrible time for our country. I am standing weirder than ever.
I just pounded a Celsius. Let's do this.
Woo! Now remember, we may be from different eras, but at the end of the day, we're both Joe freaking Biden. And live from New York, it's Saturday night.
We are live, and our dateline is Washington. Thank you, Lauren Michaels, Colin, and the SNL team. Now to our first bit of business. 50 years of SNL, we can applaud for a moment. That was my whole life flashing before my eyes of watching all of that. We begin with our business of the awards tonight, and we honor excellence, not only to recognize the superb reporting, writing, and photography, but to inspire more great work from so many of you. When true facts, real accountability, and well-reported insights are so vital. I turn to a newsman I first met when I was a college intern, and he was a local news anchor in Chicago. That means I've admired him for a long time. Please welcome the anchor and managing editor of NBC Nightly News, Lester Holt.
Thank you, and Kelly, I am so proud to be your colleague. What an amazing night this is. Thank you for everything you and the team have done.
Each year, a panel of independent judges reviews dozens of entries for the 5 major WHCA Journalism Awards. It's my honor to announce this year's winners. The Aldo Beckman Award for Overall Excellence in White House Coverage, named for a former association president, the late Chicago Tribune correspondent Aldo Beckman, goes to Barak Ravid of Axios. The judges said Barak Ravid's reporting displayed deep, almost intimate levels of sourcing in the United States and abroad that produced stories closely aligned to the events that subsequently transpired. His stories put the reader into the room as decisions were being made in the tumultuous aftermath of the October 7th Hamas-led raids on Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, the WHCA is pleased to give the Aldo Beckman Award to Barak Ravid. The WHCA gives out 2 awards for reporting under deadline pressure, one for print, another for broadcast. Each includes a prize of $2,500. This year's print winner is Peter Baker of the New York Times. The judges said Baker's coverage of President Joe Biden's visit to Israel just days after the October 7th attacks filed on deadline from Tel Aviv combined a comprehensive recounting of that whirlwind trip with expert reporter-driven analysis of the president's messaging and priorities during a fraught moment. He carefully selected observations of public events paired with well-sourced reporting of behind-the-scenes detail, smartly summarized the emotional cross-currents, diplomatic chaos, and other challenges surrounding the journey. His story not only helped advance understanding of the latest developments in a fast-moving situation in real time, it included a sensitive assessment of the underlying dynamics and historic context that allowed it to stand as a definitive written recount of the day, despite being filed on deadline. Please welcome the winner of the Deadline Award for Print, Peter Baker. All right, now the Broadcast Award for Excellence Under Deadline Pressure. This year's winner is Tamara Keith, NPR. It goes to last year's WHCA president for her work on the president's trip to Israel. The judges said her gripping audio report expertly took listeners behind the scenes on the 31-hour trip to Tel Aviv, preparing her audience for the president's statement to America later that night. Sound rich and textured and written on Air Force One, while en route back to the United States, Keith's story lays out President Biden's thinking and brings listeners in on the trip, along with her and onto Air Force One to hear the president himself announce breaking news. And Keith's quick work as part of the White House press pool to share her audio also speaks volumes of her professionalism and of her dedication not only to her employer, NPR, but also to her colleagues at the White House Correspondents Association and to Washington journalism. The WHCA is pleased to honor the deadline reporting of NPR's Tamara Keith. Now the award for excellence in presidential news coverage by visual journalists. This award recognizes a video or photojournalist for uniquely covering the presidency from a journalistic standpoint, either at the White House or in the field. This could be breaking news, a scheduled event, or feature coverage. It includes a prize of $2,500. This year's award goes to Doug Mills, the New York Times, for this photo of President Biden boarding Air Force One in Warsaw for the journey back to Washington, D.C. after meetings and speeches about the war in Ukraine. The judges praised the photo for showcasing three key elements: action, composition, and feeling. They each also viewed the picture differently, agreeing that whether the picture is foreboding or optimistic, the interpretation is left to the viewer. Of the impressive batch of visual entries, they said this photograph best captured the news-making year. Please join me in congratulating New York Times photographer Doug Mills.
They come all together.
Okay. The Collier Prize for State Government Accountability is presented by the University of Florida College of Journalism and Communications. This is the 5th year we have presented this prize at the dinner, and it comes with a check for $25,000. This year's award goes to a collaboration between the Texas Tribune, ProPublica, and Frontline, reporting on the tragic mishandling of the active shooter situation at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, on May 14, 2022. Titled Unprepared, it is comprised of a series of newspaper articles and a Frontline documentary. The meticulously researched report explains why Robb Elementary School students and teachers remained barricaded in a classroom for 77 minutes with the gunman, while more than 100 police and military officers scrambled to find radios, flashbangs, shields, and even the key to unlock the classroom. Investigators later surmised the classroom might even have been open during the entire siege. For more than a year, Loemi Creel, an investigative reporter with the Texas Tribune and ProPublica, led a team of reporters who examined video footage from 24 body cams and hundreds of hours of interviews with 150 law enforcement officers to untangle the actions and inactions that led to the deaths of 21 people, including 19 children. Creel and colleagues Lexi Churchill, Janit Zal-Hernandez, Jessica Priest, Perla Treviso, and Zach Despart contributed to the series. Juanita Ceballos wrote and directed the Frontline documentary. One of the judges said it was a standout investigation into the missteps of law enforcement during one of the most horrific school shootings in recent U.S. history. The accompanying Frontline documentary was especially strong, using officer body cam footage and recording debriefings with officers to take viewers inside the investigation of what went wrong and why those entrusted to protect children and teachers failed to act until it was too late to save some of the victims. Here to accept the award are Loemi Creel, Lexi Churchill, and Zach Despart.
One award, 4 people.
4 people, okay.
Thank you, man. Congratulations.
And now the Katharine Graham Award for Courage and Accountability. It is, of course, named in honor of the legendary Washington Post publisher. And this year it goes to the newspaper she helmed. The judges said the Washington Post shows courage, sensitivity, and originality in breaking with journalism industry norms to inform and show readers how the AR-15 weapon inflicts horrific damage to the human body. The Post was transparent about its reporting methodology and courageous in publishing graphic images of victims of mass shootings, including children, and the after effects on survivors and families. It handled this sensitive subject well, with prominent warnings to readers that the images may be disturbing, and conversations with the families of the victims ahead of publication about the paper's methodology and intentions. The Post's executive editor, Sally Busby, also published a lengthy explanation outlining the newspaper's choices. She acted with sensitivity toward the victims and the survivors, and elevated our nation's important national conversation about gun safety, gun ownership rights, and the tragic blast effects of the AR-15. The Post's decision to publish this story exemplifies the journalism, courage, and skill that Katharine Graham exhibited regularly under her leadership. Please welcome the winners of the Katharine Graham Award from the Washington Post, Nick Kirkpatrick, Sylvia Foster-Frau, Todd Frankel, and Peter Walston. Let's hear it one more time for all of this year's winners. Ladies and gentlemen.
And now from Meet the Press, we take you inside the White House Correspondents' Dinner for the night by the numbers. Our own Steve Kornacki is at the big board to break it all down. Steve?
All right, Kristen, been crunching some numbers, and why don't we start with a map? Now, not an electoral map, but a map of the banquet hall. You can see right here there are 260, count them, 260 tables, each one of them set for 10 people. Some real advanced math here. That works out to 2,600 people. Now, if it feels a little cramped around you, it's for good reason. The entire venue, less than 30,000 square feet. So good luck maneuvering your way around, and leave a little extra room, if you will, for your servers. Here's a stat about that banquet staff. 25 years, a quarter of a century. That's the average experience at WHCA dinners for each banquet team member. Now, let's get to the most pressing question that I know is on your mind right now. What's on the menu? Well, let's check that out. Holy potatoes, as in 675 pounds of them. I'm told this might be a nod to a certain president's Irish root. And speaking of presidents, here's another number to keep in mind. That number is 16, as in there are 16 sitting presidents who have attended this dinner through the years, started with Calvin Coolidge back in 1923. But enough about the presidents. I want to talk about you for a minute, because by being at this dinner, you're doing something very important. You're contributing to scholarships for the next generation of journalists, 30 of them waiting in the wings tonight. And that brings me to the single most important number I can share with you this evening. That number is $3.5 million in scholarships from the WHCA and its partners, given out since the 1990s. So congratulations to the recipients. That is your dinner data.
As a White House correspondent for ABC News, her reporting can be heard on 1,650 ABC News radio stations and seen across 200 ABC News affiliate television stations and on the 24/7 streaming channel ABC News Live. Here's Karen Travers.
Good evening. Success in the news business sometimes comes from being in the right place at the right time. Catching that lucky break on a big story, that can get you noticed. But then there are those special colleagues who built their success day by day, and then year after year, with skill, dedication, and persistence. Tonight, we award the Dunnigan Payne Prize for Lifetime Career Achievement covering the White House to two deeply respected and admired veterans of our press corps, Rodney Batten and Edward Lewis. If you have watched any of the major events coming out of the White House over the past several decades, from presidential interviews to Oval Office meetings to summits all around the world, you have seen Rodney and Ed's work. They always got their shot when it counted, again and again. Rodney Batten, a White House senior photographer, will mark 50 years with NBC News next month. 50 years. Edward Lewis, White House video photographer, spent nearly 40 years behind the camera, first at C-SPAN and then at Fox News. He retired last year. Rodney and Ed are each masters of their craft, with technical skill and a feel for what makes great television news. But they also built personal relationships across different administrations that gave them the edge, getting the inside scoop that put them in the right place to capture the moment and cover the story. This prize is named for the first two African-American women of the White House press corps, Alice Dunnigan and Ethel Payne. Their toughness covering President Truman broke barriers. Their sheer determination compelled President Eisenhower to take their questions. Rodney Batten and Ed Lewis built their reputations through hard work. Their big personalities made them well-known and very well-liked across the entire White House press corps. We asked Rodney and Ed to reflect on their long, incredible careers at the White House.
I was stunned. I just couldn't believe it. And this is a great honor.
I really am honored, very flattered. I shed a few tears, too.
How many people can come in here every day and be this close to the President of the United States, the leader of the free world?
Born and raised in Washington, D.C., I spent many years riding by this building, and I would always ride by and look in and wonder if I could ever work there. And that dream came true. Being around presidents gave me a sense of pride, honor, and hard work that I put in, because the world is waiting for the video that Rodney and I shot.
Being travel pool, which we've both done, is probably the pinnacle of covering the White House, particularly abroad, because we are representing the press corps of the United States.
I had the honor of covering the night that the U.S. had the bin Laden situation. I was called in, we were just shocked to see what was going on, but we knew that there was something big and we had to get to work fast. This job requires teamwork.
I've been here a little bit longer than Ed, so a lot has changed. And a lot, I mean, to be witness to that, it's just incredible. When Obama became president, and I was sitting up behind the rack, and I lost it. This country had elected a man who was black.
When I first got that call from Kelly, we talked about the two African-American women who this award is named after. I thought about what they, just what they endured during that time, and I was very proud of that.
I like to think that I came here every day, did what was expected of me.
I really admire the change that the White House Correspondents took in making sure that people of color, other nations, ethnic groups also had access through this press environment. Because this is a center. I don't care where you go, you might think it is, but this is a center of the press in the United States. You make it in here, you've arrived.
delighted to present the Dunnigan Payne Prize for Lifetime Career Achievement to Edward Lewis. Congratulations, Ed. And Rodney couldn't be here tonight. He is on a very special trip, but accepting on his behalf is his son, James.
That's earned, ladies and gentlemen. That's earned.
Once again, congratulations to Ed and Rodney, and thank you all very much.
For decades of Correspondents' dinners, presidents have peacefully, yet comically, jabbed their political rivals and detractors. In 2011, Barack Obama roasted a private citizen.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Obviously, we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently, in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night.
What was Donald Trump thinking? Would he recover from this? Tonight, your answer.
Well, I will tell you, it is really a tremendous opportunity to be at the most failed dinner anybody's ever seen. Great to see you losers. A lot of people say that. Hello, everybody. Why is it so quiet? What's happening? It's quieter than Sleepy Joe. Hello, Joe. How are you? Great to see you. We're going to debate, right? That's what they're saying. There's a lot of stars here. There's a lot of great people. There's Scarlett Johannesburg. Scarlett is here from Black Widow. I love the blacks. I really love the blacks. It's true. You have a lot of people that could potentially be a vice president. You have Lara Trump, who's a lot better than Ronna McDonald. Who doesn't love Ronna McDonald, right? I'm loving it. You like a Happy Meal, right? You like that? But I will tell you, this dinner, you're so tight. It's so uptight, right? This dinner is sadder than Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured President's Department, right? Look at him, the white tuxedo. He doesn't like me too much, right? But I will tell you, the Chinese apps are being banned. It's horrible. We have to post our David Peckers on Snapchat now. That's what they're saying. Let's face it, folks. I'm on fire right now like the guy outside the courthouse, right? Not soon enough. Not soon enough. But I will tell you, I am killing this dinner harder than Kristi Noem kills the puppies. Moving on, please. Even Bernie has something to say.
Mr. Trump, you have no idea what the ordinary experiences everyday Americans are. I am concerned with battling the ruthless dictators like Vladimir Putin. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree? Even Mitch would agree with that right now. Mitch?
Well, let me begin by stating what a privilege it is to be at this dinner celebrating ordinary Americans and African Americans. Scooby-Doo, let me toss it to Barack to close it out.
Everybody, DC, you've been a lot of fun. And I have to close it out by saying, when I was on the campaign trail in 2008, I let it chant with the crowd, and I would say, "You fired up?" The crowd would say, "I'm ready to go." So you have a long show. Are you fired up? You fired up? I'm ready to go. Good night, guys. Back to Kelly. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Talk about making an impression. You have just seen a man of more than 200 voices who can capture the essence of anyone. So please give it up for Matt Friend. Thank you, Matt. Putting this evening together is just one important part of being president of our association. I'm happy to welcome a good friend who will succeed me later this summer, and we promise a peaceful transition. Please welcome from Politico, Eugene Daniels.
Good evening, good evening. And now for the best part of the evening, the scholarship students. Don't worry, Mr. President Colin, I'm sure people are looking forward to hearing from you as well. The WHCA history spans 110 years, but we are also very focused on the future and young journalists who aspire to report on government, politics, and the White House themselves one day. In 1991, our association began this commitment to give back and, most importantly, lift up promising students. Not only financial help, but WHCA mentors make a year-long commitment to work with these students, offering advice and encouragement. And we all know what a difference that can make. None of us would be here without opportunity and support, and most importantly, again, people who are ready and willing to lift us up. We have built important partnerships to extend the reach of our giving, and our dinner is the primary fundraiser for our association and our scholarships. So thank you for your support and your checks. Thank you very much. Tonight, we congratulate 30 students from 16 colleges and universities around the country. Friday, they received a tour of the White House, received a briefing with Senior Advisor to the President, Anita Dunn, and got amazing advice from journalists who'd literally been in their shoes. I can tell you from experience, they are bright, brilliant, and ready to take all of our jobs. Let's meet them.
I believe in the First Amendment.
I believe in the First Amendment.
I believe in the First Amendment.
I'm Amaya Gadika from Boise, Idaho.
Alex and Wally from Columbus, Ohio.
Trinity Webster Bass from Jacksonville, Florida. Grace Konecki, and I'm from Hudson, Ohio.
I'm Gabe Castro-Root from San Francisco, California.
Sejal Govindarao from San Ramon, California.
Eli Boltz from Tomball, Texas.
Danielle Glenn from Mission Viejo, California.
And Hajar Gilani from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Clayton Vickers. I'm from Boise, Idaho.
JD Jean-Jacques from Greenwich, Connecticut.
Julianne Ventura from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Kyle Fiesig from Duluth, Georgia.
McKenna Christie, I'm from Powell, Ohio.
Petra Griffiths, I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona.
Tyra Ware from Bowie, Maryland.
Matthew Patillo from Lawrence, Kansas.
Caleb Winters, I am from Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Catherine Mahoney from Olney, Maryland.
Keegan Ward from Orlando, Florida.
Juan Pablo Lopez from Bogota, Colombia.
Marika Friedman from Silver Spring, Maryland.
Megan Downey from Wilton, Connecticut.
Nagara Jaevi, originally from Iran, currently living in the Bay Area, California.
Ava Thompson from Chicago, Illinois.
Leah Weston from Des Moines, Iowa.
Grace Kenyon from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Sahara Sajadi from Scottsdale, Arizona.
We are the future of journalism.
We are the future of journalism.
I believe
in a strong, free press.
We are the voice of the people.
We are the voice of the people.
We are the voice of the people.
Now, part of this very special experience is that our WHCA scholars were able to meet the president, get a picture, and most importantly, they are here with us in the ballroom. Y'all stand up and wave to your future employees. And when you see them tonight, give them your time, your advice, and your cards, because trust me, they will be following up. Thank you. Have a good night.
I'm a White House correspondent. Of course, I've learned to tune out these showboats.
I'm a White House audio technician. Of course I'm good boyfriend material.
I'm willing to listen.
I'm a radio correspondent. Of course I can get on the air from anywhere.
I'm a White House correspondent. Of course I don't mind if the National Park Service cuts the lawn during my live shot.
I'm a White House still photographer. Of course I don't need to climb the corporate ladder. I spend my days up here already.
I'm a White House radio correspondent. Of course my office is a windowless closet in the basement.
I'm a White House audit technician. Of course I'm a professional counter testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm a White House correspondent. Of course I listen through the walls to know what's actually going on around here.
I'm a White House correspondent. Of course I know you're listening, Peter. Knock it off!
I'm a White House wire reporter. Of course, going on the record doesn't require an actual name. Senior U.S. officials.
I'm a White House producer. Of course I have a glass from Air Force One. Or maybe a little bit more.
We're White House correspondents. Of course we spend half our time in Scranton.
I'm a White House photojournalist. Of course we call this the lavatoria because we eat where we...
I'm a White House print reporter. Of course I'm desperate for an interview with any Biden. I'm a White House correspondent. Of course, I ask multiple questions on multiple topics with multiple follow-ups. I'm the White House press secretary. Of course, I sidestep a few probing questions here and there with, I don't want to get ahead of the president. Tonight, I want to get ahead of the president, and I have his speech right here. And there are some great punchlines. Here's my favorite. No. We're White House press aides.
Of course we move press out of the Oval.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
I too am a White House correspondent, and of course, I appreciate the good humor of colleagues who wanted to take you behind the scenes. This is one night where we celebrate, we laugh, hopefully at ourselves. We take a breath and a beat before we get back to work. With a world on edge, a nation weary but resilient, a campaign that is not the echo of 4 years ago, however familiar the names and the issues. All of it is a heck of a story. Our White House Correspondents Association includes more than 800 journalists from all branches of the news business. We are 250 news organizations, and our members represent 39 countries, covering news that emanates from the White House and around the world. Our work at its best seeks information and accountability, not specific outcomes. In that vein, we ask questions. We often shout questions. We would welcome more opportunities to pose them in a calm and measured way. We strive for knowledge, not noise. These days, with the boundless resources of taxpayers and donors and the skill of marketing experts, any White House or campaign can create its own content. We believe that independent professional journalists on hand to document the events of a presidency are stewards of something precious, more enduring than any news cycle or trending topic. We preserve the historical record, part of the legacy of the First Amendment. Our association acts as the primary voice supporting a sprawling press corps with many separate employers. We advocate and organize for press access around all and domestic trips, and then we tackle things like workspace facilities and membership activities. I am grateful to our board for all of your hard work, and a special thank you to our Executive Director, Steve Thoma, for your expertise and dedication. Thank you, Steve. My gratitude is multiplying because this week marks a career anniversary for me. 30 years with NBC News. I am very lucky. I'm very lucky. Mr. President, I think that might have been applauding age there. I don't know. I am optimistic that we can do more to demonstrate that a free press serves democracy, even when truth can be tough to discern and trust is hard to earn and maintain. Even when some of our fellow citizens tune us out, we have work to do to understand the difference between reporting and posting, to use our voices to inform and not to inflame. Those close to me know that I have been counting the days to this dinner for months. But I knew there are others in our news community who've been counting too, for very different reasons. At the Wall Street Journal, they are counting. For Moscow correspondent Evan Gerskovich, 396 days since he was jailed in Russia. The U.S. government has designated Evan as wrongfully detained. And Evan's parents and his family are with us tonight, and we are with you always. We remember Austin Tice, 4,276 days, nearly 12 years since he was kidnapped in Syria. His mother, Deborah, is with us. And Mrs. Tice, we are with you. And Mr. President, again, we humbly ask that you do everything you can to bring them home. Our profession can be perilous. Since October, about 100 journalists have been killed, most of those deaths in Gaza, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Around the world, more than 320 reporters imprisoned as of December, including an American with dual Russian citizenship, Alsu Kermayshev, who works for the U.S.-funded Radio Free Europe Radio Liberty. She has been jailed in Russia since October. Here at home, there are different challenges: online threats, hostility vented at reporters on the job, and anxiety is about a paycheck. Layoffs have hit our business very hard this year. For news consumers who believe that a free press is essential, demonstrate that belief with a subscription. Show that professionally gathered news is a product you value. And we owe you our best efforts and our highest standards. So I have a ritual that began years ago when I first started on the beat, that no matter what is going on, I make a point to think about this every time I walk through the gates. I remember that I am the granddaughter of Irish immigrants who came here with little and believed in a big, bright future. I recognize that any day could shift from quiet to consequential, upended by unexpected events. History could pivot that very day. So I ask myself, will I be ready? Will I be worthy? Will you? Past WHCA presidents are out in the audience tonight. I can see our press corps. Please stand up. Former board members of the WHCA, please stand. Our chief White House correspondents, please stand. Our current correspondents, reporters, producers, visual and broadcast journalists on this beat, please stand. Colleagues who have previously covered the White House, I am so proud of all of you. And join me in a tradition where we show our respect for the office we cover. On this night, a toast to the First Amendment and to the President. Mr. President. And now, I get to say words those Irish grandparents and my mom and dad never thought were possible. I'm honored to welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you think your Irish grandparents are wondering, my great-great-grandparents that get here in 1846 and went, what in the hell's going on? I want to thank you for the warm welcome, but please, not so loud. Donald was listening. Sleepy Don. I kind of like that. I may use that again. Kelly O'Donnell, President of the White House Correspondents Association, thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
But Kelly O, let's be honest. You're way too young to be president. It's been a year since I delivered this speech, and my wife Jill, who's with me tonight, was worried how I do. I told her, don't worry, just like riding a bike. She said, that's what I'm worried about. Of course, the 2024 election's in full swing. And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old. Well, I feel great. I really feel great. I'm campaigning all over the country. Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. I've always done well in the original 13 colonies. And speaking of history, did you hear what Donald just said about the major Civil War battle? Quote, Gettysburg, wow. Trump's speech was so embarrassing, the statue of Robert E. Lee surrendered again. But look, age is the only thing we have in common. My vice president actually endorses me. I had a great stretch since the State of the Union. Well, Donald has had a few tough days lately. You might call it stormy weather. What the hell? Trump's so desperate he started reading those Bibles he's selling. Then he got to the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. That's when he put it down and said, this book's not for me. Look, being here is a reminder that folks think what's going on in Congress is political theater. That's not true. If Congress were theater, they'd have thrown out Lauren Boebert a long time ago. Now, to all my friends in the press and Fox News, some of you complain that I don't take enough of your questions. No comment. Of course, the New York Times issued a statement blasting me for, quote, active and effectively avoiding independent journalists. Hey, if that's what it takes to get the New York Times to say I'm active and effective, I'm for it. It's okay. I have higher standards. I do interviews with strong, independent journalists who millions of people actually listen to, like Howard Stern. And I know you're looking around and saying, this guy's been doing this for 50 years. He's had his moment. Give him someone else a chance. To say that, I say, Lauren, ignore the critics. Ignore the critics. Lauren's a great friend who's had 8 comedians play me over the years on Saturday Night Live. 8. And who the hell says I'm not a real job creator? Look, Lauren's had even more comedians and actors joke about me, like the funny guy in Weekend Update, Michael Shea. He's hilarious. Scarlett Johansson, you did such an incredible job in your State of the Union rebuttal that you should be do Weekend Update. Clearly, you're the funny one in the family. Look, folks, on a serious note, in addition to marrying up, Colin and I have another thing in common. We both find strength in family. I got to spend some time with his family yesterday in the Oval Office. Colin's dad was a high school teacher in Staten Island, and his mom is an incredible woman, a family of firefighters, was chief medical officer in New York City Fire Department on 9/11. As a doctor, she rushed to ground zero, risking her own life, treating and saving fellow first responders. Rushing into danger for others is my definition of patriotism and heroism. And so is what all of you do when you report truth over lies. That's why I want to close the night with my genuine thanks to the free press. There are some who call you the enemy of the people. That's wrong and it's dangerous. You literally risk your lives doing your job. You do. Covering everything from natural disasters to pandemics to wars and so much more. And some of your colleagues have given their lives, and many have suffered grievous injuries. Other reporters have lost their freedom. Journalism is clearly not a crime, not here, not there, not anywhere in the world. And Putin should release Evan and also immediately. Just we're doing everything we can. We're doing everything we can to bring home journalists, fellow journalists, Austin, and all Americans like Paul Whale, you know, who wrongfully detained all around the world. And I give you my orders to Biden. We're not going to give up until we get them home. All of them. All of them. On the third anniversary of January 6th, I went to Valley Forge. And I said the most urgent question of our time is whether democracy is still the sacred cause of America. That is the question the American people must answer this year. And you, the free press, play a critical role in making sure the American people have the information they need to make an informed decision. A defeated former president has made no secret of his attack on our democracy. He said he wants to be a dictator on day one, and so much more. He tells supporters he is their revenge and retribution. When in God's name have you ever heard of another president say something like that? And he promised a bloodbath when he loses again. We have to take this seriously. 8 years ago, you could have written off it as just Trump talk, but no longer, not after January 6th. I'm sincerely not asking of you to take sides, but asking you to rise up to the seriousness of the moment. Move past the horse race numbers and the gotcha moments and the distractions, the sideshows that have come to dominate and sensationalize our politics. And focus on what's actually at stake. And I think in your hearts you know it was at stake. The stakes couldn't be higher. Every single one of us has a role to play, a serious role to play, in making sure democracy endures, American democracy. I have my role, but with all due respect, so do you. In the age of disinformation, credible information that people can trust is more important than ever. And that makes you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, makes you more important than ever. So tonight, I'd like to make a toast. To a free press, to an informed citizenry, to an America where freedom and democracy endure. God bless America. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Kelly, and then you'll hear from a real comedian. I think I know what I'm in for. You know, Colin Jost has taken aim at me before with his jokes.
Oh, I'm sure. You ready?
Like saying, after winning the South Carolina primary, Biden barely edged out his closest rival. Time. Colin, when I win, I'm going to have a whole hell of a lot of time. And I'm going to be watching, pal. Kelly, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so very much for being here and for your words in support of journalists. And now we turn to Colin Jost, our headline entertainer. Colin not only brings the excitement of his own charisma and talents, but his guests are strictly A-list. In fact, I've been watching this evening as many of you have been trying to get a selfie and hoping to get close to a very special woman who is a big, big star in Colin's life. His mother, Dr. Carrie Kelly. And I know Scarlett agrees that Colin's mother is indeed a star in her own right. As the president indicated, Dr. Kelly spent nearly 4 decades with the New York City Fire Department. She became the first woman named the FDNY's chief medical officer. And her service included 9/11, as the president indicated, where she led triage efforts. So, Dr. Kelly, we thank you for your good work. And as his mother, you know, yes, Dr. Kelly and Mr. Jost, as you know, Colin shares a lot in common with many of us here tonight. We're all fans of Scarlett Johansson. So for a moment, I'm going to take you back to when Colin himself was a reporter for the esteemed publication at Regis High School, The Owl. A young Colin Jost scoop, 10 ways not to start an English paper. And in-depth reporting on faculty summer plans. Then and now, Colin Jost is at the core a talented writer. That's why I wanted him here tonight. And he is now the longest-serving anchor of Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. Are you ready? Are you ready? It is my thrill to welcome Colin Jost.
Whew. Thank you, everyone. Hello. That was hard-hitting journalism you saw in The Owl. I didn't know you were going to show photos of me from high school.
I have some surprises.
Yeah, it's not really fair. You can't do it for President Biden because the technology wasn't invented when he was in high school. It's not really fair. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colin Jost, and I'll be delivering the Republican response. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of time. I need to get back to New York because I'm juror number 5 on a big trial. Trump's lawyer took one look at me and he's like, he's gotta be on our side. Thank you, Kelly, for that very kind introduction. Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Vice President Harris, Doug. Doug, as you can tell from all the comments about my wife, I'm also used to being the second gentleman. And I am honored to be here hosting what is, according to swing state polls, the final White House Correspondents' Dinner. I hope that tonight will be a night to remember for most of us. I was excited to be up here on stage with President Biden tonight, mostly to see if I could figure out where Obama was pulling the strings from. I have to admit, it's not easy following President Biden. I mean, it's not always easy following what he's saying, like. But before I begin tonight, can we just acknowledge how refreshing it is to see a president of the United States at an event that doesn't begin with a bailiff saying, "All rise." And I would like to point out, it's after 10 p.m., Sleepy Joe is still awake, while Donald Trump has spent the past week falling asleep in court every morning. Though Fox News said he was just being anti-woke. We are all here tonight at Nerd Prom. Well, Matt Gaetz is at regular prom, but I actually thought I saw Matt Gaetz here tonight, but it was actually just my own reflection in a spoon. Like many of you here tonight, I pretend to do news on TV. My Weekend Update co-anchor, Michael Che, was going to join me here tonight, but in solidarity with President Biden, I decided to lose all my black support. Che told me to say that, and I'm just realizing I was set up. I've done Weekend Update for a while now, but most people don't know that I started out doing the actual news. My first job out of college was as a reporter for the Staten Island Advance newspaper. They do not have a table here tonight. But they asked me to pass along this message to the other print journalists in the room. You think you're better than me? By the way, I want to point out, when I worked at the Staten Island Advance, we had a daily circulation of 100,000. The Washington Post would kill for that. So as a former aspiring journalist, I want to genuinely congratulate all the award winners here tonight. Congratulations. The Correspondents Association provides scholarships to promising young journalism students who may one day be sent off to cover dangerous geopolitical hotspots like Columbia University. Tonight, this event is being televised live on C-SPAN. Woo! And if you're at home watching C-SPAN on a Saturday night, I hope they find your body soon. Before your cats get to it. There are so many incredible news organizations here tonight, also a few credible ones. The Washington Post is here, Washington Post. They were the ones taking your coats at the door. Please be sure to tip. Fox News is here tonight. It's the end of an era. Rupert Murdoch stepped down at Fox News, which is strange. I didn't think there was a step down from Fox News. Trump Media is here. Trump Media, not at a table, just screaming loudly in the corner to no one. Wordle is here tonight. Sorry, I meant the New York Times. I forgot they do stuff in addition to puzzles. I have to say, it's not a great sign when the only thing keeping a print media company alive are games people play on their phones. Too chilling for you guys? This room just froze faster than Mitch McConnell. And I have to say, apologies to the Times, but as a Staten Islander, I still get all my news from the New York Post. Thank you. The only paper where the front page always has the same 200-point font, whether the headline is World War III to start tomorrow or Central Park Owl dead in building collision. The New York Post is like having the New York Times summarized for you by a crackhead. The Times will say, a border deal continues to evade Congress, and the Post is like, these Mexicans are taking my stuff. There are so many incredible individuals here tonight. Laura Trump is here tonight. Okay, I got one woo. She recently released a cover of the song I Won't Back Down. Upon hearing it, Tom Petty died again. I can't believe I'm saying this to a member of the Trump family, but maybe stick to politics? Senator Bernie Sanders is here because he's not the type to pass up a free hot meal. And in general, there are so many hardworking, influential senators and congresspeople here tonight. And I just want to say, on behalf of everyone I know, stop emailing us. Stop it. We get it. Democracy is on the line. And your plan to save it is to flood our inboxes like your Crate and Barrel. It's also wonderful to be back in Washington. I love being in Washington. The last time I was in D.C., I left my cocaine at the White House. Luckily, the president was able to put it to good use for his State of the Union. I'm kidding, of course. The president doesn't call it cocaine. He calls it high-speed rail. By the way, can you blame the guy for turning to cocaine? He must be exhausted, orchestrating 4 separate trials against his rival, rigging the Super Bowl, and gearing up to steal a second election. Wow. Biden laughed. I love, by the way, that Trump's 2 attacks on President Biden are that he's a senile old man and a criminal mastermind. I'm like, I think you gotta pick one. Personally, I don't know any criminal masterminds who bike to get ice cream. Also, it's not like Trump himself is young and sharp. I'm not saying both candidates are old, but you know Jimmy Carter is out there thinking, I could maybe win this thing. He's only 99. There is an election. There's an election 6 extremely long months from now. So let me see if I can summarize where this race stands at this moment. The Republican candidate for president owes $500 million in fines for bank fraud and is currently spending his days farting himself awake during a porn star hush money trial, and the race is tied? The race is tied. Nothing makes sense anymore. The candidate, who is a famous New York City playboy, took abortion rights away, and the guy who's trying to give you your abortion rights back is an 80-year-old Catholic. How does that make sense? By the way, President Biden, isn't it crazy that he's only our 2nd Catholic president? And what's even crazier is that in just a few short months, we'll have our 3rd in RFK Jr. I'm kidding. Like his vaccine card says, he doesn't have a shot. Everything feels strange now. By a lot of measures, President Biden is having a very successful first term, but people don't seem to realize it. Like with the economy, the vibes are bad, but the numbers say it's strong. The economy is kind of like you on the steps of Air Force One. It feels like it's stumbling, but there is somehow upward progress. I do think that you can do more on the economy, sir. I really do. For example, have you considered eliminating the national debt by shorting Trump stock? People keep asking if our lives are better than they were 4 years ago. Of course they are. 4 years ago, we didn't have online sports gambling. What more do you need? By the way, that's probably what's keeping the economy afloat. Online gambling and Taylor Swift. Without those, we'd be in a recession right now. The problem is, people are always going to compare your first term to Obama's. But I think there are actually a lot of positive similarities. You both made big strides in healthcare. Obama got us out of a recession. You got us out of a pandemic. Obama got bin Laden. You got OJ. And by the way, now that OJ's dead, who is the new frontrunner for Trump's VP? Is it Diddy? By the way, I bet if Trump did select Diddy as his running mate, I bet this race would still be tied. I think even some Democrats say that they are underwhelmed, but I think they're just not living in reality. Manage your expectations, people. It's like tonight. Sure, we all wish we were at the Waldorf right now, but we're at the Washington Hilton. And we have to make the best of it. Just be happy you're not at the airport Hilton. Journalists, these are challenging times, and we need the people in this room to help guide us through it. Your jobs are not easy, and it doesn't help that we're living at the end of traditional media. The gatekeepers are gone. Did you know that 90% of people now get their news exclusively from social media? And that must be true because I saw it in a random guy's TikTok. He was recording the video while driving a Toyota Corolla, but he seemed to know his stuff. Isn't it crazy, by the way, that TikTok could be outlawed in the US by the end of this year? That's a real shame, because we're gonna need TikTok to document who is storming the Capitol next January 6th. Things are not bad for everyone, though. This may be the worst time in history to be a print journalist. It is the best time in history to be a courtroom sketch artist. My God, the most famous man on earth is on trial, and there's no cameras allowed. Just the artists, their pastels, and their desire to make Trump look as bad as possible. Every sketch of Trump looks like the Grinch had sex with the Lorax. In closing, I would really like to take a moment to recognize all the print journalists in this room. Your words speak truth to power. Your words bring light to the darkness. And most importantly, your words train the AI programs that will soon replace you. And finally, I wanted to thank my family, and I wanted to thank my friends for being here tonight to support me. I want to thank my wife for enduring lots of jokes. and for agreeing to individually meet everyone in this room right after the ceremony. That's really special, honey. Thank you. Don't be shy. Come right up. She hates privacy. And with my family in mind, I wanted to share one last thing with you before I go, and I wanted to share one thing with you, Mr. President, before I go. I lost my grandfather this year, as you alluded to, a firefighter, William Kelly. He's the reason that our son's middle name is William. He helped raise me growing up, and I would not be here today without him. My grandpa was a firefighter on Staten Island for 40 years. To make extra money for his family, he was a substitute teacher, and he painted houses. And since it's Staten Island, I should point out it's not like the Scorsese Irishman painting houses. He was not a mafia hitman. He actually painted houses. The FBI is here. I don't want to start a whole thing. My grandfather was another rare Irishman who didn't drink because he lost his father and his brother to alcoholism. And I swear, Mr. President, this is not an age comparison. You remind me of him. Some of your best qualities remind me of his. And I will say he was 95 and he was still great at stairs. I think it's because he didn't try to run up them. But the reason that I bring up my grandfather, and I don't know if you realize, Mr. President, but Staten Island firefighters are not normally your demographic. Staten Island voted about 70% for Trump in the last election, and the other 30% was for Giuliani. But Staten Island also sided with the British during the Revolutionary War. So we're not always on the right side of history. You remember. But my grandfather, a Staten Island firefighter, voted for you, Mr. President. He voted for you in the last election that he ever voted in. I mean, I'm sure someone else will vote twice in this election using his name, but that's just how the democratic machine works. He voted for you, and the reason that he voted for you is because you're a decent man. My grandpa voted for decency, and decency is why we're all here tonight. Decency is how we're able to be here tonight. Decency is how we're able to make jokes about each other and one of us doesn't go to prison after. We go to the Newsmax after party. And when you look at the levels of freedom throughout history and even around the world today, this is the exception. This freedom is incredibly rare, and the journalists in this room help protect that freedom, and we cannot ever take that for granted. So, Mr. President, I thank you for your decency on behalf of my grandfather, and I thank all of you, almost all of you, for your decency as well. I am very honored and grateful that you invited me here tonight. Thank you and good night.
lawmakers tonight, especially you, Mr. President. Thanks again to our executive producer, Bob Bain, and his excellent team. Thank you to the Washington Hilton. Really, thank you to the Washington Hilton. I am forever grateful to our members and to Comcast, NBC Universal, my home at NBC News. Thank you to our board, and good luck, Eugene. I hope you had fun. I had the time of my life. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in your seats until the President, Vice President, First Lady.
Whenever news breaks.
We are here in Israel, a nation at war after that brutal surprise attack by Hamas.
On the ground in Ukraine, reporting from Lewiston, Maine.
The scene of a horrific mass shooting.
ABC News Live is right there everywhere.
From the scene of that deadly missile strike in Dnipro, Ukraine.
Reporting from the earthquake in Turkey.
In Rolling Fork, this tornado tore through this little town.
From the most devastating disaster in Hawaii.
From Charleston, South Carolina.